I don't have to tell you things are bad. Everybody knows things are bad. It's a depression. Everybody's out of work or scared of losing their job. The dollar buys a nickel's worth. Banks are going bust. Shopkeepers keep a gun under the counter. Punks are running wild in the street, and there's nobody anywhere who seems to know what to do, and there's no end to it. We know the air is unfit to breathe, and our food is unfit to eat. We sit watching our TVs while some local newscaster tells us that today we had 15 homicides and 63 violent crimes, as if that's the way it's supposed to be. We know things are bad, worse than bad. They're crazy. Just leave us alone. Well, I'm not going to leave you alone. I want you to get mad. So, I want you to get up now. I want all of you to get up out of your chairs. I want you to get up right now and go to the window, open it, and stick your head out and yell, I'm as mad as hell, and I'm not going to take this anymore!
Volume11music.com, BigMex and Jamie Show. I'm BigMex.
I'm Jamie.
And with us today, very special guest. I've known him for quite a while, Mr. Jason Hook from Five Finger Death Punch. How's it going?
It's going great.
Yeah? Here, let me turn you up a little bit right there. You're busy.
Activity Maximus.
Yeah?
Just got back from Austin, Texas, where we launched it was the world premiere of our documentary. I say our, but it belongs to Fran, the director, Fran Strine, the director, and myself.
Yeah.
It's been 3 years in the making, so that was kind of...
I've been following it since it first came out. I was like, man, when is this? And every once in a while I say, when is this documentary coming out? So it's finally made its premiere.
Yeah, I'm so excited. Like I said, it took 3 years to make the documentary. We basically set out to collect as many interviews as possible. And what we started to realize was that everybody had one amazing story, at least one. So what we tried to do was string all of the best bits of everyone's interview together and make sort of one overall story. And I'm really proud of it. I mean, I could sit here and tell you how great it is, but I think the next thing is to just try to figure out how to get it out there. Right now, we're actively looking for the right deal.
Yeah.
And it's a good time for documentaries because
I love them.
Yeah. Well, the last 2 years in a row, both music documentaries won the Oscars.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Was one of them Sound City?
No, actually, it was Amy and 20 Feet from Stardom.
Oh, okay.
And so...
Well, your documentary is called Hired Gun.
Hired Gun.
And you can catch bits and pieces of it. I guess Entertainment Weekly did a little preview of it.
Yeah, that was on the Ray Parker Jr. story about him writing the Ghostbusters song.
Okay.
And, he sold 10 million copies of that record and didn't really want to even do the song. And they kind of pushed him into doing it, and he's, never had to work again.
Yeah, of course, because it's, yeah. Jamie, I don't know if you know this story about the whole Huey. Does he talk about the whole Huey Lewis?
Well, I want a new drug.
Yeah, we didn't get it. Now, who came first?
Huey Lewis.
Huey
Lewis is first.
Ray Parker.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well,
so you didn't get into that, huh? Oh, well, I guess we'll have to see, huh?
I think he probably just paid it off like a speeding ticket. Oh, well.
With all that money, at that point.
I'll take a few mil of the 360 mil.
Yeah. And they're both great songs. Honestly, I grew up, that was one of the first things I ever listened to was probably the Back to the Future, well, I guess, Huey Lewis albums and then also Ghostbusters soundtrack. Yeah. Never put the two together. They sounded the same when I was young. Yeah. But, it's funny how that turns out after a while.
Yeah, I guess the story behind that was they asked Huey Lewis to do it, and Huey Lewis doesn't, he's just like, nah, I'm not going to do it. So they asked Ray Parker Jr., and then he did it, and then, hey, they wanted to use I Want a New Drug is what it was.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's the story that I've heard, though. But, so we'll talk about more of the documentary later on, and I want to talk about, I see you in the studio again?
Yeah, well, I actually wrote and recorded the Hired Gun song.
Okay.
With my buddy from Art of Dying, Johnny Hetherington.
Okay.
So if you've seen pictures, that might have been me down there working on the song with Kevin Jerko.
Ah, okay.
But as far as Five Finger Death Punch goes, I'm always working on, preparing for the next record because they seem to come up without warning. And then it's like, what do you got? Nothing. What do you got? Nothing. So I hate that. situation. That happened to us once. I remember telling myself, don't ever be unprepared again. Always have something ready to go because, things are shifting all the time. And at any given moment, they were like, we should make a new record.
So who's this we? Like,
well,
because I don't know the process.
It's a good question.
Yeah.
Because when I say we, it's not like I'm not in control of, that decision making, but we have a very good manager and a management team, and they're always trying to figure out what makes sense and when to do the next move. And sometimes things are shifting really quickly, and if we have a huge tour coming up, we might say, well, this might be the last 2 months that you have available.
Yeah.
Before summer 2017. So maybe you guys might want to think about trying to go in and record a couple songs now, so that it's not this, big deal later on, or at least we'll have something where, it's always shifting. Yeah. So when I say we, there's a lot of people on the committee.
Okay.
Yeah.
So it's not just you 5 guys that say, hey, we're ready to do a record.
Well, we stomp our feet a lot. Yeah. And we're like, well, we're not doing that, and we're only doing this, and this is what we want to do, and tough one. But they're very good at what they do.
Oh, yes.
And we think we're good at what we do. So we, over time we've learned to, let them do what they're good at.
Yeah. It's worked so far.
Yeah.
So when they say something now, you're like, it's worked over the last 5 years, let's do it again.
They obsess over what to do and what the right move is. I don't obsess over it that much.
Your girlfriend's hitting on my kid over there.
Yeah, well.
You didn't see it. She wants to touch your hair. Let her touch your hair.
He doesn't hesitate at all.
Yeah, no.
Like,
it's kind of like his dad.
It's very shiny.
Pretty girl wants to touch me.
Nice try.
Yeah. Who am I to deny?
Stay in your seat, sir.
Look at him, he's like, great.
So, I just came back from WizardCon personally. We'll talk with Jason here. He's going to be with us the whole show. I went to WizardCon. You didn't get to go.
I didn't get to go because I really didn't know anything about it because somebody didn't tell me anything about it.
Is it my job to tell you?
Pretty sure, yes.
Okay. All right, whatever. Yeah. So it was cool. I didn't get to see Anna there, but she did go.
Did you meet anybody?
Yes, actually. Jason Mewes was there from Jay and Silent Bob. And, of course, you may have heard that Kevin Smith is directing an unspecified episode of a Season 2 Flash episode. Okay? He hasn't said what episode it is. And Jason Mewes and Kevin Smith both Instagram a picture out of them on set. So there's this rumors that Jason and Jay and Silent Bob may be in the new movie. In the new episode of Flash. So he gets, hey, I'm going to go talk to him, because that's just how he is. And what did you ask Mr. Mewes?
If he was ever going to, or not ever, if he was going to be a part of the Flash episode.
And what did he tell you?
He doesn't know for sure.
Yeah, right. That's what he says. Maybe Jason Mewes might not be, but Jay might be.
I think he agrees.
I think he
agrees. You got him on the spot right there. Like I was saying, I want Blunt Man and Chronic.
Yeah?
Yeah, they already played superheroes. They should be on that episode, right?
Yeah, exactly.
That would be pretty cool.
Yeah.
Yes.
So, what else you got, Jamie?
Well, we had shows this week. I went to Silverstein about a week ago over at Vinyl. A couple cool bands opened up. One of them was Rarity. They're a new band, and they just signed to Rise Records. Kind of like a little bit of a throwback to the early 90s, late kind of mid-90s rock sound. Really good, kind of stood out in front of that crowd. Cold Rain, which I had never seen live. I don't know, Jason, have you ever heard of Cold Rain?
No.
Okay, they're just kind of like a straight-up heavy rock band from Japan.
Really?
And they have a half...
Please don't tell me it's like a Darren Gray.
Oh, no. No,
Okay.
it's like straight up just radio rock, basically, but a little heavier.
Uh-huh.
Lead singer is half American.
Okay.
So, he speaks perfect English and everything. Kept calling it Las Vegas, California the whole time, though.
Did he?
Which was pretty embarrassing. It's like, dude, you're the American guy in the band.
Have you ever been to a show like that? Have you, or have you ever said the wrong city?
Yeah.
I've seen. I want to say it was the Aquabats. I'm not sure. It was a Warped Tour. It was these guys in wrestling masks, and they were playing on top of an old school bus that was painted
Aquabats.
blue, and the band was like, "All right, thank you, San Antonio." I think they were from Australia. I'm not sure. And everybody looked. This was in Houston. Everybody looked and said, "Fuck these guys!" And everybody turned off and walked away because it was inside of like a convention area.
I think every band's done it. pretty much.
Yeah,
I mean, you get the wrong city every now and then.
I guess there's a lot of changing information on a daily basis when you're on tour.
Yeah.
So I guess it would be easy to, miss a beat.
Is that why they put the name of the city on the set list on the stage?
Well, I think so.
Yeah.
I think so. Yeah, because I don't talk to the audience, so it's not a problem for me.
Yeah.
But sometimes Ivan, he says something. You go, ooh.
Ivan, really?
Yeah.
Ivan Moody.
Yeah.
That
Yeah.
Ivan. Okay.
I mean, yeah. And God bless him. I mean, he's
I
got
love
that
him, yeah.
responsibility.
No, yeah.
But I'll never forget the time we were playing. We were playing in Germany or something, and the U.S. military came out to give us the Distinguished Civilian Award. Now, the only time this went out was like Elvis.
Yeah.
One other time. So they make this big presentation, and Ivan that night on stage is saying, thank you. It's such an honor. When we went to Iran and played for the troops, I'm like, we never went to Iran. It was Iraq. Ooh.
Wow.
And you can see people that are going, Iran? Huh? That's weird. I went to Iran. God bless him.
Yeah. So that actually
That's
pretty
okay
funny.
when it's
Yeah.
like foreign places.
Yeah, that's.
But I mean, and
you get
if
a
you're
pass on
close
that.
to, like if you're in San Diego versus Los Angeles, you maybe get a pass. But if you're, you're in Colorado versus Florida, come on now. Yeah. You kind of know. So now, you went to a show this week.
I went to
too.
go see Billy Idol.
Yeah.
Yes.
How'd that
go? For 60, what is he, 61, something like that? That dude has it. Man, he is on it. It was, and you can tell when he there was no tracking, vocals. There was none of that going on. You can tell he was getting winded, but Steve Stevens, I was talking to this FBI, she was an FBI investigator for organized crime, just happened to be standing right next to her, and she was a Steve Stevens fan, and I said, you know what, Billy Idol's like great, Steve Stevens is great, but together they're like above that, like they are, Roth, David and Eddie,
that combo.
Steve and Billy is that combo, and they both do. I get goosebumps just remembering the show. I mean, it was a phenomenal show. I was so happy that I went, and it was my speed. Like I went to Anthrax, great to get in the pit and Lamb of God, fuck yeah, But to be able to go to a show, have a nice view, not getting pushed around, not getting this, that, and the other. It's good to have to go to that show from time to time. So, every set list was different. This set list was completely different from the first night.
Yeah, it's a friend of mine went first night. She came from Anchorage to see Billy Idol the first opening night. Yeah, she said that the first couple songs were really rough.
Yeah.
I don't know if you noticed it, like just really rough. That was like the first two songs of the whole.
It was Shock to the
thing.
System, and I think something else. Yeah.
Yeah. So they were rough, but she says after that it was fine.
Yeah.
That was it. So yeah, like you said, there's no overdubs, doesn't seem like there's a lot of backing tracks or anything like that in the performance. So
who were? Have you been to? You went to Ace.
I did.
Oh man. It was one of those shows that I wanted to go to this year, and I wasn't able to get to it.
I will attend anything having to do with Kiss for the rest of my life.
Yeah.
I'm guilty. It's something that, I grew up with Kiss. It's very close to my heart. I can't, that feeling is something that I crave. And so, I don't know. Pretty much anyone that follows our group knows that about me by now. So.
Yeah, no, I get it. I understand it.
Charged.
Yeah.
And Ace has still got it, from what I heard.
He's
has
great.
it more than he has in a couple of years?
Look, he's sober.
Yeah.
He's done a great job. I think he's going on maybe 9 years or something like that. So, he's really taken a serious attitude towards the rest of his career, and he's working hard, and he was great. It's great to hear those old Kiss songs.
Yeah.
I mean, the room just responds instantly.
Yeah.
So my hat's off to him, man. He's doing a great job.
Yeah. Good. Yeah. I wanted to go to that one so bad.
Yeah. I'm sorry I missed that.
So,
as far as news goes, AC/DC. Let's talk about that a little bit.
Oh yeah. Let's talk about that.
So
Yeah,
Jim,
talk about that? Yeah.
who was it? Was Jim Brewer? Is that who they were talking that started kind of some rumors?
We were supposed to see them here in Vegas.
Yeah.
And it wasn't too long after that where Brian Johnson, I guess, was having some issues with his ears. And the doctor said, this is it. If you play one more show, you run the risk of being deaf forever. That's it.
Jeez.
So, I also heard that they were looking around for a replacement so they could kind of go out and
still do shows from time to time?
Well, no, I think they want to finish this tour up and say, instead of just pulling the plug and that's like very anticlimactic, ends on a bad note, had to cancel shows, ticket holders are disappointed. Instead of disappointing the ticket holders, they might get a Steven Tyler or Axl Rose, somebody like this, to come in and just finish the dates as out of respect to the fans.
Yeah.
I think they were talking about a few different singers too, possibly.
Yeah.
Like who?
Well, that's the thing. There was a couple people. God, who were they talking? They were talking about the original. Who was the original AC/DC singer? Dale Dale something? Or
there was a
Evans?
guy like before Bon Scott.
Something Evans.
Yeah.
He says he's interested. You have all these guys saying they're interested.
Yeah, right.
But
that's exactly.
Dale
who?
Yeah. But you wonder.
Taken care of?
You wonder if they're going to get, like Queen did with different people, different singers and
Yeah.
stuff, bring them in at different legs of the tour, have a couple singers there. I mean, I don't know what they could really do.
Well,
but
they pretty much have their pick of the crop now, don't they?
Yeah.
I mean, let's say there's a month left, right? Who's going to say no? Like, everybody would be like, hell yeah, I'm going to come and sing for AC/DC.
Well, I think all those
Karaoke
bands,
night, yeah.
well, those bands that sound like AC/DC too.
Yeah.
I mean, you think of all the bands, like Airborne or,
think
something like that.
They would. What I heard was that they're shooting high, like the big time celebrities.
Makes sense, though. I mean,
David Grohl, Steven Tyler.
Ooh, can you imagine Dave Grohl fronting AC/DC?
Just
I could.
Anybody with the biggest star power.
Wow.
That would almost be, well, I shouldn't say that, but more exciting, but, it's too bad for Brian Johnson, of course, but that'd be pretty interesting to see that kind of show where Dave Grohl is fronting him or something like that.
Anything kind of goes now. If one person drops out, you have to make a decision. Does everybody suffer, including the fans?
Mm-hmm.
Or do we just spin it like, look, it's not that Brian doesn't want to be here, he does.
Yeah.
But the man could go deaf. So you decide, do you want us to play with your favorite legend singer and just finish up 4 weeks, or do we just call it a day and everyone has to get a refund?
Yeah.
And some of these people bought tickets from a secondary market.
Oh yeah, you're not going to get a refund.
So you're not going to get a refund for that.
Right.
Yeah.
No,
Yeah.
I mean, anything goes now.
Yeah, man, that's horrible. Like, yeah.
Well, when you got holograms playing lead singer,
yeah.
anything does
Yeah,
go.
why don't they just do that? Yeah.
I can't wait for them to develop that technology because I want to play from my couch just like every other band.
This kid's got a question. What do you got?
Yes,
What do
sir.
you want to say?
Well, at my school, my teacher, she shows this thing called CNN Student News. My dad's heard of it, and like it's showing you.
I know, I've heard of it.
And
Yeah.
they've actually almost not started, but almost finished developing holographic pictures like the Star Wars, the Leia one where he finds R2-D2, and the holographic projections.
Oh wow.
So that'd be
I
easy.
Help
love.
me, Obi-Wan.
I love how he slips in. He slips it in, just when you think he's not going to be able to slip in Star Wars, he manages to do it. You get kudos. You get props.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That'd be fun. Like you have a band like AC/DC or Kiss, and they don't play anymore. You have holographic projections. You put them on this. You put it on stage. People knowing it.
Like Ozzy, just wheel Ozzy out there, and
I'm 100% supportive of this concept. I mean, we could roll down to some place in Vegas, set up, project ourselves into some other venue on the East Coast, and then go back home and sleep in my bed.
There you go.
Daddy
You're all
says,
about
hell
it?
yeah.
Sign me up, huh?
No, I'd rather hump around in a bus for 8 weeks.
I would love to hop around on a bus for 8 weeks.
I would tour with you.
Would you?
No problem. Absolutely.
I got free time, dude.
Yeah, dude.
My schedules are very flexible. Let me know. I'll come out. Jamie's like, you son of a bitch, you're gonna leave me high and dry.
I'll carry your bags. It's cool.
So, what? You know what? Let's take a break.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Play a song?
Yeah. Spin the wheel.
Spin the wheel. I got a song.
All right.
I got a song.
Pick a song.
All right.
What are we landing on?
We're going to do Dead Animal Assembly Plant. This is a band out of Portland. I saw them at Knotfest, actually. I think the year after Jason played at Knotfest, and they played a smaller stage. Really cool band. Really industrial, like the real industrial, like, Skinny Puppy.
Love Skinny Puppy.
That type of stuff.
Yes.
They dress up, the whole 9 yards. They have a new album coming out called Old Fashioned Hellfire.
Okay.
And this is a track from that. It's called Be the Decay.
Right here on Volume11Music.com, Big Mex and Jamie Show.
Destroy your destiny.
Volume11music.com, BigMex and Jamie show. Who was that? I was going to say, who was that, BigMex?
Wow, you really think highly of yourself, don't you?
Of course I do.
That was Dead Animal Assembly Plant out of Portland with Be the Decay.
Yeah.
They have a really cool idea. They're doing an album release party through Facebook because you can stream through Facebook now. And they're going to play a bunch of the tracks live, and then the rest of the tracks are just going to play, recorded versions of it. But it's all going to be online on the 26th. So check out their Facebook page.
It's funny you mention that because two things. Warped Tour is supposed to be doing.
Oh yeah, I was going to bring that up.
We'll talk about that later on.
Okay,
but we'll also talk about a new way a certain artist is doing albums, and I want to get your opinion on that as well, Jason. So, but we want to talk more about Hired Gun.
I definitely want to talk
about
it. I know Jason wants to talk about it.
I know.
Going,
well, he had to
we're
look
good.
like,
We're good.
All right, so I looked up some facts about this because I really do want to see this. I was telling him I love these types of documentaries, and I think that's what made you want to produce this.
Absolutely,
and
love
do
documentaries.
This. You spent some time as a hired gun.
I did.
And being a hired gun compared to where you're at now, so you're in a steady band situation. How do you feel the comparison is? Is it easier being a hired gun?
I don't think I would trade what I have now for anything. Really, people that get to play their instrument for a living are very blessed. If you can make a living in the arts, period, you're blessed. But for me, for whatever reason, it just wasn't enough. I always wanted to be an artist and carve my own path. So even though I was very fortunate to have some of those jobs, it's a job. You get paid well to tour, but once that situation is done, you're back at zero.
You're back to being unemployed.
Exactly, unemployed. And just because you could play an arena last week, but if the gig's over, you're still looking for a Starbucks job or a Guitar Center. So I really didn't like that part of it. Mm-hmm. And so I thought, for all the time that I'm investing, I need something that I have a stake in. I think everybody feels that way, So I was like, this will be the last one for me. So when I quit Alice Cooper's gig, everyone was like, that's a pretty good gig and pretty solid, because Alice can play anywhere forever. And I was like, yeah, it is a great gig, but I have an opportunity to join an original project where I can write songs and have a stake in it, and that's what I'm going to do.
It's worth the chance.
You quit Alice to join Five Finger. Okay.
I did, yeah.
I didn't know that it was like back to back. I thought maybe there was some space in between that.
The movie has a pretty healthy chunk devoted to my story and the gigs I went through, and it leads all the way up to where Five Finger Death Punch is right now. So there's a big chunk on Death Punch and the transition that I went through.
Okay.
Quitting Alice, yeah.
Okay. That sounds...
And you look at somebody like Kenny Aronoff. He's able to have a career, just an ongoing career. He was in Mellencamp and everything for a long time.
Yeah.
But to have this ongoing career of really being that guy, that go-to guy. He will play from people from like Alice. He'll play with Alice. He'll play with the Stones as a session player. He will play. I'm looking. I mean, if you looked at his
resume
credits, it is unbelievable. And he'll play for these people you don't normally think he would. Maybe some up and coming rock band that you haven't heard of. They hired him as a session player, but then he'll also play with Smashing Pumpkins. So
he has done very well. He really is an incredible individual. He's loaded with energy to the point where, like, every time he says hello to me, I think he's going to break me in half, And but good for him. He's been the go-to guy. Obviously, he has a very developed skill for retention. As far as slipping into things quickly.
Yeah.
And being ready to go quickly. That's a big part of it. He's just a great. He's had a great run and. He's still grinding, like when we were filming the jam portion of the movie, because a part of the movie was all these guys coming together to jam. In between takes, he was still learning new music. He's like, are we taking 15? Because he'd be back with a Walkman and writing out a Walkman with headphones. Hell, Walkman, what is this, 1984?
You just dated yourself, dude.
We can edit that.
What's a Walkman? He was back there in headphones writing out tomorrow sessions parts,
Yeah.
So he's busy. He's a hustler.
I am totally always on the lookout for really cool documentaries. West Memphis 3, I just started watching that again. Or West of Memphis was the one.
Yeah, that's the latest.
That's the latest one. And of course Sound City, and then the Foo Fighters one. The Lemmy one is an awesome musical documentary.
The Foo Fighters movie Back and Forth. The fellow that edited that film did our movie.
Oh, really?
Tim Calandrello. Yeah, he's a world beater. I call him Gretzky because he took the project from like a 6 to a 12.
Really?
Yeah, he's a journalist first and an editor second. So he basically scripted the entire movie out on paper and made it make sense to him that way as a journalist, a story.
Okay.
And as he was piecing it together, it was really interesting to watch him work. He had color-coded sticky pads all the way around the room, and that was his timeline, his visual reference to where to put segments.
Wow. It's like storyboards.
Yeah, storyboards, exactly.
Yeah.
Like looking up at the wall going, well, I see that I've got it now, and then he could move things around really quickly.
Wow.
It was really wild to watch somebody with that kind of experience do
Well,
his
you
thing.
wonder, people say, why is there a writer on a documentary? Automatically they'll think that. You have to. Otherwise, it's just a big mess.
You,
I mean,
you
you've
know
seen
what?
those ones, too.
You couldn't be more right, because it's not just about stringing together everyone's best bit.
Yeah.
It's about looking at the overall and creating a beginning, a middle, and an end.
Yeah.
You
got to have that.
He nailed it.
Yeah,
He's
that's
a pro.
good.
Yeah.
You know what? In the next segment, we're not leaving just yet. In the next segment, I just want to give you a heads up. We're going to... Jamie and I have been talking about albums that have stuck with us. From the first time we heard it, it has the same impact on us now. So it took me about an hour to get 10 albums.
Really?
Took him, I don't know how long it took you to get 5.
About 5 minutes.
About 5 minutes?
Yeah.
I'm going to give you a heads up now. I'll ask you for 3.
I can do it.
Can you do
I
it?
can do 3 right now, yeah.
Really? Just off the top of your head? Okay, so if I ask you for 5 by the next segment, can you do 5?
I can do 5.
Awesome.
Hopefully you
There
won't
we
say
go.
no.
Yeah.
I can do
No,
3,
of
that's it.
Of course.
All right, so we're going to talk about that next. We're talking about albums and recording and this and that. And I really don't like talking about this guy, but the way he's starting to record albums, I don't know if it's a good thing or a bad thing. Kanye just released his latest album on Tidal, and he's now going in and taking those tracks back and redoing them and then putting them back out again. Is this something, from an artist standpoint, from a musician standpoint, is this something that is a good thing, or
Why is he doing that?
I don't know. He's just not comfortable, and it's to me
it's Kanye.
because it's Kanye. But to me, it's just not like if I'm a musician and I put something out, I'm going to put something out that I'm happy with. I wouldn't just release it just to release it.
So this is something that had been released to the public.
It's only on the musical service, only on Tidal music service.
Oh, okay.
And then now he's going in and he's redoing, changing verses, changing lyrics, changing structure. I mean, to me, it's he's doing it just to sell. Oh, a different version. Oh, you got to have this version.
It's like a movie.
Yeah.
You release a movie and then you release a special edition.
Yeah.
He's kind of trying to double dip.
Well, I think I'm not in a position to judge the guy. I think that it is a new landscape, and I think that you have to come up with creative ways to stimulate the public. And I'd have to know more about what he's doing specifically, but I think that it sounds like somebody's trying something as far as, capitalizing on, their music.
Yeah.
It's
which is not a bad thing.
Yeah, I mean, we did a double record because, the landscape is different. if you can't get paid for doing the old thing, then everyone's scrambling to find out, well, what could be the new thing?
Yeah. But as a musician, is there anything that you've ever recorded that's out right now that you can say, I really wish I could go back and redo that?
No, I don't think so, because first of all, we massage and manipulate our recordings until we're pretty happy.
Yeah.
And then when we decide that we're good, we sign off. And once you sign off, it's a mental sign off and an emotional sign off. You accept that that's it. We don't finish records. We abandon them.
I never thought about it like that again. No, I never thought about that. But I mean, it's you recorded. Now you got to just let it go.
You got to let it go. That's a huge part of survival in the business. Especially when you're making record with 4 or 5 guys. If everybody can get to a situation where they're like 85% happy, that's fine. Because if you were 100% happy, it wouldn't say Five Finger Death Punch on it. It would say the Jason Hook album with friends.
Yeah. No, yeah, I totally get that. So, you want to?
I take it. When my take on that is what Jason's saying. If somebody like Kanye, it doesn't matter who they are, if they want to go back and really, really retool a song, like, man, I just want to change the chorus, the verse, the whole 9 yards. Wouldn't you just create a new song?
I think so, because look, you're really messing with the public. You're trying to get them to soak up and love one thing, and then you just completely go sideways.
Yeah.
I think that I can't tell you how many times I've recorded a demo and I thought, I love everything about this, and then when we start making the record and it's different, there comes the letting go. I got to let go. I got to let go of what I'm used to, what I liked, what I was comfortable with. And then, like 2 years later, I'll go back and hear the demo. I'm like, man, the demo's shit. Good thing I was
signed off on it.
Yeah. Now, if the public, but I think if the public got the demo, maybe they would have heard the demo and loved that version, and then rejected the album version. So I think once it's out there and you're asking the public to love it.
Yeah.
I don't know if going back and reconstructing something is really going to work with the public.
Yeah, it just seems kind of shady.
Imagine if there was like a new Hey Jude.
Yeah.
Like you'd be like, oh, the new one's way better.
People get pissed when they change the audio. Think of the audio that they changed on the Beatles records. Doing it mono versus stereo. People got pissed about that.
I would have gotten pissed off too. Yeah,
changing the song entirely.
Well, you're asking the public to compare you to you. I mean, that's a tough sell, I think.
Yeah.
Now they're going to have to make a choice between A or B, and one of them is going to lose, and both of them are you. Right?
Right, exactly. Let's play another song, yeah?
Okay.
All right, let's do that. Spin the wheel again?
Okay.
All right. For it. And what are we landing on now?
Screaming for Silence.
Oh,
This is one of my favorite bands.
I know it is.
This is a new band. They're out of Omaha. And we ran into I believe it was their manager, somebody at Radio Contraband this year.
Okay.
And he was talking how their first single, The King is Crowned, deserves a second chance. Like, it didn't get out there enough. So I want to play this song, The King is Crowned, from their self-titled album.
Maybe they should redo it and just put it back out.
We could say they redid it because people haven't really heard it that much. So we could say it, and we say, I don't know if I can find the original.
All right,
man.
Right here on volume11music.com. I almost forgot that.
I know I'll make you nervous. Pretty hot and shivering cold. Square up with your fist in the air. This time we take control. Better bring it on, better bring it on, better bring it on. Cause it's fucking hard. You try but you never win. There's no retreat, no giving in. You try but you're gonna fail. try, but you'll never win. There's no retreat, no giving in. You try, but you're gonna fail. To the king his crown. You try, but you never win. There's no retreat, no giving in. You'll try, but you're gonna fail. To the king his crown. You try, but you never win. There's no retreat, no giving in. You'll try, but you're gonna fail. Let the king his crown.
Volume11music.com, BigMex and Jamie Show. Jamie, who was that?
Screaming for Silence, one of my favorite bands, I think, in a long time.
Yeah.
That was The King is Crowned. That's off their self-titled album. Check it out, please. We'll put a link up there. There's a video, too. We'll put a link for that on the podcast description.
Awesome. So a few weeks ago, Jamie and I were talking about albums that have the same impact on us now as they did when we first heard them. So, yes, when was it yesterday? I said, get your albums together.
Yeah.
All right. So you got your albums together. I ended up doing 10, 11 plus an honorable mention. Let me look at my list.
That's not even a weird way of doing it. 11 plus an honorable mention.
Well, I get it. I'm not going to say it's not one album. So
Okay.
let me do my honorable mention first.
Okay.
My honorable mention, anything Hall & Oates. I have the same effect. And like I can listen to any Hall & Oates song, and I'm a happy camper.
That's true. You always mention them.
Yes.
Yeah.
Real men listen to Hall & Oates. I'm telling you.
That's a T-shirt.
Yeah. No, totally a T-shirt. Yeah.
Undeniable songs.
Yeah.
Undeniable songwriting talent.
Yes. Yeah.
Undeniable.
I can't,
you love them or hate them, it's
Stuck in your head.
it's
do you know people?
above.
Do you know people who hate them?
No, I don't actually. But if you talk to people that are, in the hard rock heavy metal community, they'd be like, "Oh, I can't believe it." Everyone's outraged. Blah 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 blah. Right.
Jamie, who's your honorable mention?
I had two, actually.
Okay.
And one was Skid Row, Slave to the Grind.
Okay.
That's an album that's not only kind of changed my way of thinking of a hard rock band, because they kind of went against the grain and went heavier at that time when nobody was doing that.
Yeah, yeah.
And then also a band called Hardline, which this one's kind of a left field one. This was Neil Schon from Journey's side band, and they put out a single album. They have more albums after that, but this is like their first album called Double Eclipse.
Love that record.
Thank you.
Yes.
That is one of the catchiest, best albums I think that ever came out in that era. It was
It's great.
From start to finish. I can listen to it now and still sing every word. It's such a great album.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
How
I
about
mean,
you?
not that most people would understand me liking that, but I mean, I did grow up in the '80s, and those albums were designed to grab you, and have you enjoy music.
Yeah, no, that's...
And that was, Neil Schon is a world beater. I mean, this guy has an incredible talent and knack for writing songs.
Yeah.
Real quick, did you guys hear about the original Santana lineup? No. They're playing the House of Blues here for one night.
No kidding.
Greg Rowley, Neil Schon.
Shoosh.
Yeah, swear to God.
Wow.
Yeah. So,
Who says shoosh?
Yeah, Canadians.
Oh, yep.
No, that would be shoosh day.
Shoost, eh? So, what are your picks over here?
Well, of course, I'm thinking of more and more as we go on here, but
So, do you want Jamie and I to continue?
no. I'll spit them out because
Okay.
five is the right number.
Okay.
I'll start with Kiss Alive.
Okay.
It was the first one of the first Kiss records I bought, and I think I listened to it until I had vinyl shavings on my all over my bedroom. But Kiss Alive, it had all of their potent songs in a live context.
Yeah.
And I just thought it was amazing. Now we all know that record is a combination of the real recordings and a lot of touch-ups, but I didn't care, and I still don't care.
Yeah.
It was designed to fire you up and give you, you're looking at the pictures and you're going, and you're hearing it, and the combination just, it was magic.
Yeah. Yeah, it was.
And it still is.
Yeah, I was going to say, it still is.
It still is.
I just showed my kids the Detroit Rock Cities movie.
Yes.
And I forgot some of the songs. Like holy crap, I totally forgot about that song, or whatever. It is a great album.
Kiss is in my movie, by the way. It wasn't easy, but I got Eric Singer to tell his story, and then we licensed a bunch of Kiss footage and photos.
Well, you played with Eric, didn't you?
I did. Yeah, so
Alice Cooper. Yeah.
Yep, Eric is a friend of mine, and thankfully he contributed his whole story for our film.
Because he was a hired gun for. I mean, wasn't he original?
He was in Badlands. And,
Badlands. Well, he was an original member of Badlands, wasn't he, or was
Yep,
he hired gun there?
Black Sabbath, Gary Moore did something with Brian May, Lita Ford,
Yeah.
Alice Cooper. I mean, he's a veteran.
He was one of those guys when you read the liner notes, you say, "Oh, Eric Singer. Oh, I know that guy from whatever." So
And really a great musician.
Yeah.
He can throw down. I remember, on the Revenge record,
Love
where he
that
came into Kiss. I mean, he just, wow. The
was part of that
were
sound.
punchy and aggressive, and did a great job.
Domino's my favorite Kiss song.
Yeah, it's killer. Actually, I could put that on the list.
Oh,
Kiss
did-
Revenge was killer.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So is that your second one?
No. No, we'll do Fair Warning, Van Halen.
Oh, that's another good one. Yeah.
Fair Warning was considered the guitarist's Van Halen record. That was the one that everyone, the sound, the riffs, just Eddie hit a stride. It was aggressive. The guitar work is amazing, and the songs are amazing. So that's number 2. Number 3 is a little bit of a departure. I'm going to say Amused to Death, Roger Waters.
Okay.
I think I listened to that 10,000 times. For anyone who doesn't know, that's, I think, his third solo record
After
post
Pink Floyd, yeah.
Floyd. He spent millions of dollars making this record. It was one of the first records in 5.1, and the whole album is segued. So it's like a real trippy journey with no breaks. And you can hear like dogs barking off in the far left side, and trains coming from the
Pink
right.
Floyd-esque.
Yeah, it's really,
Yeah.
but it's an amazing masterpiece.
Yeah.
Let's go. Number 4 will be Made in Japan, Deep Purple.
Okay.
Deep Purple.
Yeah.
Deep Pimple.
Finally going into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. Finally, after all these years.
I mean,
And fighting all the way with each other
Oh, really?
to get in there. Yeah.
what is it with the Rock and Roll Hall of
I
Fame?
don't
I mean,
know. It just
we got
starts all sorts of
Madonna, but
shit.
we won't induct Kiss.
Yeah. That's a whole other
Yeah, it's
ball
that's
of
a whole,
wax.
that's
right
a whole
there.
other episode.
Yeah, it is. And in their defense, they did finally induct Kiss, so we'll leave that alone.
Yeah.
Made in Japan, amazing. Richie Blackmore, I mean, that truly is a real live recording, and then you really sort of get the essence of what you don't really hear it very often anymore, but that's a real band interacting with each other of incredibly strong players.
Yeah.
Let's see what else we got here. Metallica Black Album.
Okay.
Now I know that's kind of like the New Kids on the Block album of Metallica albums.
You said it.
It's
I did.
undeniable. It's still undeniable, though. I mean,
No,
think of that album as
every song on that album hit.
Yeah.
It was.
I wasn't. I'll admit that I'm from Canada, and so things kind of would trickle up there slower and later than anywhere else in America.
Yeah.
So I wasn't exposed to Metallica like the rest of the guys in my band. But when the Black Album hit, it hit globally everywhere.
Everybody.
So that was really kind of the first exposure I had to Metallica.
Yeah.
And it's a really strong record. It sounds amazing. You could crank it up, and it was just punchy and and the songs are great. So that was one for me. What else do I have here? Well, I'll say Kiss Destroyer.
Okay.
That's very predictable, I know, but fuck it. It's Kiss
It's
Destroyer.
Kiss.
still
Destroyer.
a great album. You put it on, it sounds fresh.
Yeah, it does.
Out of all their albums, to be honest with you, out of all the older classic albums, that is still the album. You put it on, it still sounds like it could have been recorded a week ago.
I had that Kiss Destroyer. I remember, and I may have told you this story before. I had that Kiss Destroyer poster in my room when I was 11, 12 years old. And in that poster, Gene's hair, it looks like it's on fire. So my mom used to smoke cigarettes at the time. So I went into the bathroom.
And tried to light yourself on fire to be
my
like Gene
hair,
Simmons?
yeah, my hair. And I ended up burning a whole patch of hair.
You tried to light your hair on
I
fire?
was 12, dude. I want to be fucking Gene Simmons. Do you blame me?
No, I guess I get it.
Yeah. And
might want to lower the age on that. 12, you're pretty cognizant of your actions.
I was, yeah.
That's one of those things you only try one time.
Yeah, I know. I've only
Hopefully.
done it once.
Then you figure it out.
Yeah, since I was 12. So, but yeah, I burned a whole patch of hair off my head. My mom, I was apparent that my mom, looking back now, she could smell it. into the hallway. And she started banging on the door. What are you doing in there? What are you doing in there? I was like, oh, nothing, no. So the banging stopped, so I thought she was gone. So I opened the door, and there she was standing right there. And she grabbed me from the top of my head and turned my head like that. What the fuck? And she beat
Very
my
Michael Jackson
ass.
Pepsi commercial of you.
Yeah, but I didn't have a Jerry curl. Mine was
Right.
my hair probably looked like his, actually.
Oh,
Yeah, my hair probably looked like his. So, yes. So I don't blame you on those. You want me to give you a couple of mine?
Yeah, go.
All right. First one, Rage Against the Machine.
Oh,
The very
nice,
first Rage Against the
solid.
Machine album.
See?
92. I can't give you reasons why. I put it on now and
okay.
it's still just like a bam.
Yeah, it's
you know?
incredible.
Yeah.
How's that for a reason?
Yeah. My second one, Jamiroquai, Traveling Without Moving.
You actually mentioned that.
Yeah.
A couple weeks ago.
Yeah,
I
I
think.
love that album. It's just a real smooth, very cool, laid back album. And I'll go down the list real quick. Mark Farina talked about Mushroom Jazz from '98. Deftones' White Pony and Adrenaline are on my list. Motley Crue, Shout at the Devil,
Not bad.
and the John Corabi one on
me
my
too.
list. Yeah,
Uncle Jack.
yeah. Beastie Boys, License to Ill. Smashing Pumpkins, Siamese Dream. Prince, Purple Rain soundtrack.
You know what? I almost put that on my list, but I thought there's no way I can explain it.
There's no need to.
It's just
the songs.
It was amazing. That tied with the movie
Yeah.
and the feeling that I got when I was, 14
Yeah,
maybe.
yeah,
That really
84?
had an
Yeah,
incredible
84.
impact.
Yeah.
Incredible.
yeah. Judas Priest, Screaming for Vengeance. Let me see. And the last one on my list, Sepultura, Chaos AD.
Ah.
Yes.
See, a lot of heavy stuff for you.
Yeah,
mostly.
a lot of nothing past 2000. I think Jamiroquai was the only one that was 2000. Nothing past that. In the last 16
Isn't
years.
that interesting?
Yeah.
Yeah, with my picks, I could think of the time when I really, really got into music, and I already mentioned it was from soundtracks, like Huey Lewis and the News and
Yeah.
stuff like that. And then I had all my, hair metal stuff, and some of it stuck with me. Really, where it starts for me would have been Hysteria by Def Leppard.
Yeah.
I can still listen to that album. It opened up so much for me. It was like the rock stuff and the pop stuff. And that's what they succeeded. They made Thriller a rock thriller.
Yeah.
And so it's still, I can listen to it today, sing every single word. I saw the residency, sang every single word.
What other hair metal bands then?
As far as the ones that, that really stuck with me, it's mostly the classic ones. I mean, it's Motley Crue. It's, thinking back, I mean, there's bands that... Dokken never really hit it for me. There's bands like Sleazebees. There's stuff that people are like, what the hell are you talking about? Asphalt Ballet.
Wow.
They put out an album. I should have put that on my list, man. They had the album that nobody ever heard, and that was such a great album.
Yeah.
But the bigger ones that I can listen to, like probably listened to a week ago, Beastie Boys, Paul's Boutique.
There you go.
You chose License to Ill. I chose Paul's Boutique.
Yeah.
It really changed the whole
Yeah, it
game
did.
when it came to sampling.
Yeah, and it was trust me, it was a tough one. I knew Beastie Boys was going to be on there, but I was like, oh my God, there's License to Ill, there's Paul's Boutique, there's Check Yourself, there's all these other albums they put out, but License to Ill was the one because first it had Kerry King on there, and so it was one of those Def American. It was Def American at that time, or was it already Def Jam? It was
Probably
Def Jam still. It was still
I
Def
think it was
Jam.
Def Jam
yeah.
for the first one.
So yeah.
Going on, Weezer, the Blue Album.
Oh my God.
I love that album with passion still, because everyone says Pinkerton, and Max, you might not, because I know you don't follow Weezer like I do.
yeah, not
Pinkerton
like you do,
was
yeah.
the one that everyone, that influenced a whole generation. But when you listen to the Blue Album, that's like one of those start to finish. Every song's a sing along. Every song's a
God, it's
a
amazing
single.
how I'm actually ashamed that I forgot about all these things. I catered when I was living in LA, broke, starving musician. I worked for a lady that had a catering company, and I catered the Say It Ain't So video shoot.
Oh, really?
I'll take useless trivia
Wow,
for
That's a good one.
That's
That is a
awesome.
good one.
400.
Yeah.
that's so good. That's such a great album. I've had an autographed poster of theirs since '94.
Yeah.
With all four of the original members. I just put it in a frame.
Didn't one of them didn't the bass player go crazy or wasn't
One
he?
of them, they had a replacement bass player that came in on the Green album, and he died after
Oh, really?
a while, yeah.
Wow.
But he had some issues. And then going down the list, a couple British bands, the Wild Hearts. This
Never
band,
heard of
you never heard of them,
Never
okay? They have an album called PHUQ, which is pronounced.
Fuck.
There you go.
Okay.
It was such an incredible album. That band, Ginger Wildheart, he's played with Courtney Love, he's played with Mike Monroe, he's played with a ton of different people. And Wild Hearts are one of those bands that just have a million songs, 15 albums, and no one's ever heard of him in the U.S. None of
Yeah.
them have even been released in the U.S. So I love that album. And then last but not least, the Manic Street Preachers, album called The Holy Bible.
Yeah.
Came out in 94, right about that time when bands were, the blow up of the scene. It was more mainstream for the, I guess, grunge movement a little
Yeah.
bit. And they went from having a U.S. album that did okay, that was all shiny and pop, and then they came out with this, which if you ever check it out, it's like kind of like what Nirvana did with In Utero.
Okay.
Where they went against the grain
Yeah.
and put out just a really, really harsh, just a crazy album. And on the eve of that album, their guitarist disappeared.
Wow.
Never to be found again.
Ever?
Ever. Yeah.
Oh, now that's a movie right there.
Oh, I'm
Documentary.
sure there
He's
probably is
doing
going to
another
be a
documentary
movie.
on that guy.
Yeah, they found his car at some bridge in the UK. I mean, they assumed that he killed himself,
Yeah.
but he was a screwed up guy. He carved his, like they did with Slayer, he carved Slayer in their arm.
Sailor.
This guy did it. He put for real, but he did it all the way down to like the bone.
Ugh.
Yeah, it was crazy. So those are my picks.
I'm surprised nothing grunge, nothing like Nirvana or Soundgarden or Pro Jam's in there with you.
And
on your list.
I was in Seattle when all that
Yeah.
happened, and I mean, to be honest with you, it's a little different when you're there.
Yeah.
I mean, I like those bands and everything. I like Alice in Chains. I liked, all those bands. Mother Love Bone probably had more of an impact on me than some of those other bands.
You know what? I've heard that with a
Yeah.
lot of people who were in that area.
Yeah, there were smaller bands like Sweetwater and Goodness and things that for locals, those were the bands that everybody swarmed to.
Yeah.
The other bands were there, but they went away really fast. So
Yeah.
they never blew up in Seattle necessarily. So.
Yeah. Anything else? Oh, speaking of Seattle, they showed photos of the Kurt Cobain shotgun.
Yeah, it was kind of weird.
Yeah, that is a little
The one
weird.
that got melted down?
Yeah, the one that got destroyed in the...
Per Courtney?
Yeah. Did you hear about this?
The
Kurt Cobain shotgun? The
No,
one that
no.
was used...
yeah. What about it?
It showed up.
It showed up.
Apparently, there was rumors that they had melted it down or destroyed the gun.
Oh.
It's not destroyed.
Really?
Yeah, and it looks a little too long to reach down.
Really?
Yeah.
Did you see the movie Soaked in Bleach?
Loved it.
Yeah. That's all I'll say.
It made
Yeah.
you just go like,
Go watch it.
Yeah.
jaw hit the table, and then you watched. Did you watch the other one too? I can't remember what it's
The
called.
artsy fartsy one.
Yeah,
The one where there was like no dialogue. It was
yeah,
just like
I could not
I was like, what
stand
is
that movie.
this?
Yeah, that
We
was
saw
just.
it. Sorry. I'm speaking to somebody that's not on a mic.
But yeah, the other one was just kind of like it was Courtney Love sanctioned
Yeah.
BS in my opinion. So
Oh, you want to say something? He wants to say something. Oh, hold on. Let me bring up your mic. What do you want? What's up?
My favorite songs. My favorite songs like the wait. I'm confused right now. Never mind. You know what? Never mind.
We all,
You
it
sure?
happens to the
I'll
best
tell you
of
what.
us.
We're gonna put your favorite songs in the description below once you get them to me. Okay? Is that okay?
Yeah.
Are you sure? All right.
One of them. Pink Floyd, Hole in the Wall.
Okay.
For Apocalypta, I Don't Care.
Apocalyptica. Okay.
3 is Motley Crue, Dr. Feelgood.
Okay.
Number 2, Journey, Wheel in the Sky.
Okay.
And number 1 is also Journey, Separate Ways.
Okay. Nice. See, not too bad.
Killer.
I think Neil Schoen won our discussion here.
Yeah, I
mean,
guess
that's the most
so.
mentions out of everything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There you go.
Not too bad.
Neil actually has 2 tracks in the Hired Gun film.
Nice.
Oh, right on.
Solo, just hit.
His solo records, we pulled 2 songs off of them. Yeah.
Nice. Any surprises that you're not? Do we need to be like a surprise guest like that you haven't mentioned before?
In the
movie?
Surprises. Well, there's a Jason Newsted segment that's really cool.
Oh, okay.
He explains how he got the audition and how he borrowed money from each one of his friends, $5, $7, $10, $15, to get there. Was broke. And there was 40, 45 or 50 people there. He got the gig, and it was he got paid $500 a week
Wow.
to be in Metallica the first year.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
That's crazy. Now he's not.
Yeah, you don't.
He doesn't have to do anything.
Nah.
I wish. I mean, that his Newsted album that he put out was pretty good.
Yeah.
You know, with Mike Mushok and I forgot who else is on that record. But
I think he was having problems with his neck and stuff like that too. I know he had some health issues or body issues to do with all the headbanging he did. Which, if you ever saw a Metallica show back then,
surgery.
Yeah.
I don't know, but Jason Newsted is very well off. He did very well from his experience in Metallica.
Yeah.
I know that the record right after he joined, they did the Black Album, and it changed all of their lives.
Yeah. Was he a hired gun up until a certain point?
Yeah.
So the whole time he was there, was he a hired gun?
No, there was he was a hired gun for 1 year.
Okay.
As sort of maybe probation or, and after the end of that year, they asked him to be a full member.
Okay.
Which, looking back, they probably didn't have to do that. They could have kept him on whatever schedule they wanted.
Yeah.
But they included him as an equal.
Yeah.
Right before the Black Album. So from the Black Album on, they were making hundreds of millions of dollars.
Yeah.
So
not too shabby.
At that.
Yeah.
Go see the movie. Explain.
All right. All right. Well, Jason, thank you so much for taking time to come out and hang out. And
my pleasure, dude. You've always been a great friend to me, and I appreciate you inviting me down. And I'm happy to be here.
Anytime you're not busy, you are a very busy man. I know that. Anytime you're not busy, you're more than welcome to stop by, and we'll see you soon. Yeah.
Thank you. Yes.
Real quick, any Death Punch news? Touring?
We are heading out with Black Sabbath in Australia. Right. Yeah, the reunion Black Sabbath with Ozzy Osbourne. Yeah. So I'm very much looking forward to that. I mean, I've never met Ozzy. I've met the other guys, so it's going to be fun. In Australia, which I love Australia, it's so beautiful and the people are so cool there.
Yeah.
So that's next. We have a couple weeks.
Shine down. Then you guys come back here.
We come back, do all the festival stuff, the rock on the this and the rock on the that and the rock of the thing and
World's Loudest Month. Yeah,
everything.
Yeah,
right, exactly.
Yeah,
we do all that stuff, and then we do Shine Down. Yeah.
Yeah. Cool. Well, thanks again. Anything?
No, I think we're all good. Thank you for coming by. I really appreciate it.
Thank you for inviting me down. We'll see you next time.
Yes. Bye.
Show's over, motherfuckers.